Hey everybody, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jesse.
And you're watching In Depth.
On Now You Know.
Sponsored this week by A Better Route Planner.
A Better Route Planner makes finding chargers an intuitive experience. When you're zoomed out, the highest power charging stations are displayed. When you zoom in, more lower power charging stations appear, helping you find the best charger on your way. Another feature making this a better route planner. And sponsored by BYOR, or Build Your Own Robot.
Yeah, they've got new tutorials on their website. Really fun stuff.
You can actually build a robot in like just a few minutes with this kit. It's great.
And sponsored by the fabulous items that you can get on EcoWear. You're wearing a new sweatshirt.
Absolutely. Nice and warm.
Warm for the fall.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I like about these t-shirts is that a lot of times people come up to me and they go, "What is that shirt?" And you can immediately start a conversation about whatever it is. So that's the thing that I like. And the other thing that I like about these items is that everything is 100% carbon offset, from the manufacturing to the shipping to the entire life cycle of your shirt, you putting it in the washing machine and finally getting rid of it at the end of its life. All of that is carbon offset. And on top of that, one tree is planted for every order, which makes it extremely carbon negative.
Jesse, This is the easiest change you can make.
Okay, what is it?
We've been telling everyone on this channel all the time about switching to electric cars, getting solar on the roof, maybe even going vegan to make a difference in climate change.
And a lot of people do this. A lot of people have made the switch to an electric car, or they go solar. But more people than that have said, that is too much for me. Going vegan is too hard. Getting an electric car is too expensive for me. And going solar, I can't do it. My wife won't let me.
Well, there's a very simple, easy change you can make that will probably bring about the biggest impact on the environment that you'll ever make. And it'll only take you about 30 minutes. So we tell you all the time on this show that you should vote with your wallet. That'll make a change in the environment, right? You go to a store, you buy from companies that are green, that care about the environment, and that will take your money away from companies that aren't green. And that's great. This is going to have an impact on the companies, and in turn, that'll have an impact on how they behave. But you also spend money when you're not spending money.
What?
Yeah, unless you keep all your money in your mattress, you have a bank account, right?
Right. Yeah, they have way better vaults than my mattress.
Yeah, I mean, banks make a lot of sense. They safely hold your money, and they allow you to move it all around and do stuff with it, but they don't really keep it all in a vault. You know that, right?
Well, then where is it?
You're thinking of this place all wrong, as if I had the money back in a safe. The money's not here. Well, your money's in Joe's house.
Yeah, it's loaned out to people and businesses, which is great, but there's one problem.
Okay, what's that?
What if your bank is lending out money to companies that you don't believe in?
Okay, like who?
Well, check out this list from banktrack.org. It's from their Banking on Climate Change 2019 report that they put out every year, showing how much banks invest in fossil fuels. Because I know that fossil fuel companies are not something that you're really big on.
Right. No, I'm definitely not. But wait a minute. Why are these banks giving money to fossil fuel companies?
Okay, so let's take a step back for a second. How do banks make money?
Fees?
They do make money from fees, but banks make most of their money by loaning your money out and getting interest on those loans.
But then why do fossil fuel companies need loans? Aren't they already rich?
Well, fossil fuel companies have to continually explore for new wells. They have to buy drilling equipment. They have to build pipelines and refineries and ships, etc.
Don't they just pump more money out of the ground?
Well, it's not like solar or wind where you build a wind farm or a solar farm and then the energy just keeps flowing day in, day out. Oil and coal and natural gas are a finite resource. You drill and you pump, and soon that well is depleted. And you have to move on to more drilling and more pumping, and you constantly need more money for that.
So banks loan them the money to keep them running?
Exactly. But what if they didn't?
Awesome. I'm going to call my bank.
You're going to do what? Wait, what? What are you doing? You're calling your bank? They're not going to take you seriously. Hang on. Hang up. They're not going to... What, are you going to tell them, take my money out of fossil fuels?
Yeah. No?
No. They're not going to listen to you.
Who are they going to listen to?
They're going to listen to these guys.
I don't get it. Okay.
No.
What?
They're going to listen if you take your money out of your bank and put it into a bank that invests in what you want. That's the only way they're going to listen.
Okay, so what bank is that? JP Morgan?
Hang on. Nope.
Wells Fargo?
Nope.
Citibank?
No.
Bank of America?
Nope.
TD Bank?
Nope.
Morgan Stanley?
No.
Okay, so not a U.S. bank. Let's try Bank of Montreal?
Nope.
Deutsche Bank?
No.
Santander?
Nope.
UBS?
Nope.
HSBC?
Nope.
Okay, so basically you're saying that there's no banks. I'm just going to call up Mattress Firm.
Wait, you're going to call a mattress company?
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep my money in a mattress. That seems to be the only way to do this.
Hold on. There are a few banks. There's a group called Partnership for Carbon Accounting Financials, and they started in 2017. The partnership is to standardize carbon accounting for the financial sector, and they have announced more than 50 financial institutions worldwide representing $2.9 trillion in assets that have committed themselves to assess and disclose the greenhouse gas emissions of their loans and investments.
Okay, so how does this help me?
Well, there are banks around the world that have agreed to follow these principles so that you can keep your money in the banks that aren't loaning your money to fossil fuel companies.
Okay, so what banks? How do I find them?
Well, PCAF has a list of member banks, and we posted links to them by country in the show notes below. I've done some research into the US PCAF banks, and I'm going to start moving my accounts to Amalgamated Bank this week. They're a bank that actually seems to care about the things that I care about. And I just want to point out, if you go to most bank websites, there's usually like a page about us, and you go to that, and there's lots of friendly looking people that are like, we like to help the world with our bank. But what's nice about this list we just talked about is it's actually showing you where your money's going in terms of fossil fuels. And that's really powerful. Yeah, so I want to be clear. The banks on the PCAF list, it doesn't mean they're 100% fossil fuel free. Mm-hmm. It just means that they disclose what they invest in so that you can actually take a look at it and decide if it's right for you.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay, I know what most of you are feeling right now because we're in the same boat. Setting up a bank account is like going to the dentist for us. The thought of filling out forms and looking up account numbers and all that is not very appealing, but a few minutes of work and you're done. And then every day, your money is working for clean energy instead of against it.
Because as we speak, I bet most of us have our money tucked away in banks that are happily loaning our money to big oil. Coal plants are buying new machinery with our money. Oil companies are fracking with our money. We don't get to check a box on our bank account to tell our banks how we feel. We have to tell them how we feel just like we do it with every other corporation, by voting with our money.
And in this case, we have to take our money out and bring it to a bank that operates responsibly. There are tens of thousands of people watching this video right now. And if we all take a few minutes, check the list down below, find a bank, and move our money, that could easily be $500 million worth of money moved from fossil fuel investment to renewable.
$500 million? What are you, crazy?
No, I just did some math. Let's say 50,000 people watch this video, and let's say they have $10,000 that they move out of their bank to a responsible bank. 50,000 times 10,000 is $500 million.
You think everyone's going to be moving $10,000 out of their bank?
Well, the average savings for an American is $16,000, so I kind of went under the average savings.
So I mean, if we use that number, we're talking about $800 million.
Yeah.
From this video?
Yeah.
Like, we're not starting a campaign with headquarters and just this video alone.
Yeah, if everyone watching would do that, we would move $500 to $800 million out of fossil fuels banking into renewable banking.
Wow.
Now, you don't think that bankers around the world would take note of that? And then get this. What if you shared this video and tens of thousands more do it? Because let's be real. It's pretty easy to do, and it's free to do this.
That's a good point. I mean, so many things that we talk about on this show, whether it's, buying an electric car or getting solar on your house, it's going to cost you something, right? You're going to have to, or even switching to veganism, it's like, oh, well, you're going to have to change your diet completely. This is free to do because it's your money, and it's, instead of giving it to someone, you're giving it to someone who's going to give it back to you because it's a bank.
Right. Now, I think a lot of people are sitting there going, changing banks, I don't think I can do that, because it used to be the only way that you could bank with a bank was it had to have a physical location near your home. But today, banks can be virtual.
Right. I mean, I'm a part of a local bank, but I haven't been to the bank in 5 years. Right? There's mobile deposits for my checks, so I can just take a picture with my phone app. There's direct deposit from work. There's ATMs. They're all on the network. I have checks. I can move things digitally. I don't ever have to go to the bank and talk to them ever.
Right. Banking is no longer limited by location. So I posit that in 1 week from the release of this video today, it's easily possible that if we all get off our butts...
You don't have to get off your butt.
Oh, what?
I'm doing it right now.
You're changing your bank from your phone?
Yeah.
Well, that's true. Okay. So yeah, if we all do this and we share this video, we could easily move $1 billion out of the fossil fuel companies' pockets and into the renewable energy companies' pockets. 1 week, $1 billion.
And so if after a week or two with your new bank, you tell some coworkers at lunch and some family members at dinner, you personally could help move millions of dollars more.
Yeah, what if all the climate strike marchers just changed their bank? Remember how 4 million people marched a few weeks ago? What if all those people who were marching took half an hour at lunch and moved their bank accounts to PCAF Banks? That could easily be $64 billion moved out of fossil fuels' hands and into wind and solar and renewable energy.
That's equivalent to how much JP Morgan Chase, the biggest fossil fuel bank, loaned to big oil and coal last year.
So we're going to stop right now so that you can go do it. Comment below what bank you chose. Like and share this video so that more people will see it.
And just so that we can have a number at the end of this, we're going to make a Google form that you can go fill out. So go change your bank, click on the Google form, fill out which bank you left, which bank you moved to, and how much money you moved. It's completely anonymous.
Yep.
Don't worry. And then we're going to have a number.
Right.
Of large proportions if you all do it. So please, this is probably the easiest, the simplest, the cheapest thing that you can do. For no money, you're just moving your banks. That's it.
Your money will be working for you day in, day out, as you sleep, for the right causes now, instead of all these years for the wrong causes. Thank you so much for joining us. I really urge you to go do that. Please share this with someone else so that they'll do it too. Tell everyone you know about it, and we'll be making a huge, huge difference. I want to give a huge shout out to JHat, Just Have a Think YouTube channel, where we got the idea for this show. I urge you to go check out their video on this, where they go much more in depth into it. And while you're watching this at the end here and you're thinking to yourself, should I go do that? That sounds like work. It's not that much work. You'll click on a link, you'll find a bank, you'll fill out a couple forms like you do every day for a million other things, and before you know it, you'll have switched your bank. Not a big deal. I know it sounds like a big deal. For some of you, maybe you've been with that bank for your whole life, and you're like, oh my God, what'll they think? It doesn't matter.
Right.
It's just some numbers being moved from one place to another in the world. But what does matter is that those banks will start using your money appropriately.
Thank you so much for watching. Now you know.